good girl? You're silly. You're silly. Hi, welcome back to my channel. What are the signs of dog anxiety? Because they can get anxious just like humans. They can become anxious and nervous and fearful when something in their world changes. Today, I'm going to share some tips that will help you if you're experiencing this with your dog. Most of you know I am not a trainer, but I have owned lots of different kinds of dogs, and I've been a dog lover all of my life, and I've had great success with my dogs. Kyiah has had anxiety. Separation anxiety is what she's been experiencing. And so I feel I'm in a position to really help you and share what is helping Kyiah in that situation. Kyiah's anxiety had to be conquered because it was ruining her happiness, and it was ruining our happiness too. What you doing? You want to hug Mommy? Okay, we'll hug Mommy. Kyiah is a pandemic-era puppy, which means she was at home with Paul and myself from the time she was 8 weeks old to 2 years with very little socialization. So she had very, very limited exposure to other dogs and other humans. At 2 years old, she was fearful of anyone she didn't know. She was fearful of other dogs and of people walking past with their dogs. What? And had separation anxiety when I had to leave her with a sitter because I had no other choice. All of this climaxed into a bad situation. You can watch the history of what I'm telling you in this video, and it will also be on the end screen. Are you tired of being sitting here? Are you tired of it? You want to take a nap? You want to take a nap? You don't know what you want, do you? You haven't got a clue. You're so cute. I knew Kyiah got anxious sometimes, but I hadn't had a puppy in quite a while, and I didn't realize how serious it was becoming. And I probably should have done something before I did. The 4 common types of anxiety are separation, noise, travel, and aging. And the signs of anxiety, when they show big, fearful eyes and or have their ears pinned back, scrambling, clawing on the floor, and pulling on a leash to keep you from leaving them. Say, for instance, if they're scared to go to the vet, that happens a lot. Barking and lunging at other dogs and their owners. Panting, drooling, restlessness, and repetitive behaviors like yawning, hiding, licking and or biting their paws. Sometimes they'll approach you with their tail down and between their legs. And this is a big sign that they're feeling uncomfortable and anxious. I'll admit, I've only had one dog that had such severe anxiety that I couldn't leave him even in another room. And especially when I left the house, I would put him in a kennel and he would cry and whine and bark and get so upset he would end up peeing, pooping, and vomiting in his kennel. This dog was the worst case of anxiety I'd ever seen, and it was separation anxiety. And trust me, the neighbors would tell me all about it when I got home. They wanted to be sure I knew. They weren't happy with me. It took a while for me to figure out what was wrong with this dog. And I realized that the family we had adopted him from had found him as a rescue dog on the road, and he was pretty young. And they brought him to their home, and they had him probably a year or two. And he had been with another dog as a companion in their home all that time. And so when he came to our home, he didn't have that. He was by himself, and he didn't like it. And at the time, we couldn't have a second dog. So I had to give him up for a home with a secondary dog, and I made sure they understood that. So why should you address this anxious behavior that your dog is exhibiting? Well, it can ruin your relationship with your dog. And I know you love your dog, and you don't want that to happen. Because it can inhibit you from leaving, going on vacation, or going out to dinner with friends, being able to take them to a sitter, whatever it is that makes them anxious. Letting it go without addressing it can also cause situational anxiety to turn into persistent anxiety, where it just gets worse and worse. And that can lead to aggression, where your dog begins to nip or maybe even bite a person or another dog that seems to be contributing to their anxiety. This is dangerous too, because it inhibits the sitter from being able to adequately take care of your dog, because now they're scared of your dog. They don't want to get bitten. It can grow into destructive behavior with your furniture, the woodwork in your house, the bottom of your cabinets, the floor, the baseboards, the door trim, doors scratched until the paint's gone. It can just escalate into big, big problems. Biting is a sign that the anxiety in your dog has just become overwhelming to them. It's like them screaming, "Help me." You can imagine an anxious dog who's resorted to nipping or biting is a whole other bag of problems. It's a plethora of problems. It can seriously hurt someone, get you in trouble legally, cause medical bills, and even if it goes far enough, I know you've heard of this on the news, if their dog is bitten or nipped a human enough times, they can have to go to court over it. It could be a judgment that your dog should be put down because they have become dangerous. Now that's the worst case scenario. I doubt most dogs get that far, because responsible parents are going to address the problem and stop it before it goes that far. But it's been known to happen. So if you are experiencing anything like this with your dog, and you know it's not just puppy behavior, they're old enough, it's some kind of anxiety, these are the things you should do to help them. First, you've got to identify the cause, and the cause might surprise you. In Kyiah's case, what surprised me the most is she was fearful of human hands. And I don't know where she got that, because I've had her since she was 8 weeks old, and no one has ever used their hands to hurt her in any way. But she just didn't like them coming around her head, over her head, to the side of her head. She just didn't like it. And of course, that's where people pet them. And anytime that happened, she would follow their hand with her face and duck. It was a bad situation because she was scared. And she became anxious in a car ride. She was fine as long as we were going down the road, but anytime we stopped at a stop sign or stopped at a light, she started whining because she thought it was time to get out and go for a walk. And it wasn't, of course, but that's when she would start getting upset. And then we'd start going again, and she was okay, smelling the air, liked to have the window down if it was cool enough outside, and do it again the next time we slowed down and stopped. And the last thing that made her anxious was being in a new situation without me. It's important to discuss your dog's anxiety with your veterinarian, because in Kyiah's case, they did prescribe a medication that made her a little less anxious and made her focus more. And it allowed me to be able to train her and have her full focus on what we were doing to teach her quickly. I learned from Kyiah's vet that CBD products that have become so popular currently have no scientific data on the long-term effects on your dog. CBD products are not regulated for purity or consistency. The third step is to desensitize your dog's anxiety. For instance, I mentioned Kyiah was scared of the human hand. A trainer that I went to see helped me desensitize Kyiah to the fear of hands by putting my hands around her head, and when she didn't react, giving her a treat. That's also in that video on the end screen. Even when Paul and I tried to put our hands close to her head or pet her, she would often jump. She would do fast footwork, back off as we got closer, and always stay more than an arm's length away. So one way to desensitize your dog, say from separation anxiety, is to put them in the room that you're going to leave them in when you leave your home. And while you're home, have them in that room. And then back away where they can't see you, and if they don't whine, come forward and praise them with a treat. And then back away again and wait a little longer. If they don't whine or react negatively in any way, show back up with another treat and praise them. And keep lengthening the time that you do this until they're comfortable being in the room, 10 minutes. And then stretch that time out. And it could take, depending on how anxious your dog gets, it could take a week or two to see a big change, but it's well worth the time you've spent. If your dog whines as soon as you leave them, immediately go back so that they realize you're coming back, and then disappear again. If they whine immediately show up so they understand you're coming back. And when they quit whining, give them a treat. Then they'll know it's the whining that you're not wanting. You're rewarding them for not whining. You do not want to be your one and only love for your dog. They need to get used to other people and other environments. Not doing so handicaps their quality of life and yours. Encourage them to lie down in another room and take a nap or entertain themselves even when you're home, so that they're not following you and being underfoot everywhere you go. If they have to be in your presence every minute of the day, you're going to have a problem if you have to leave, especially with a sitter. As they grow out of puppyhood, this should naturally happen. After about 2.5 years, they naturally want to spend time away from you. And you can also branch out from this. When you have a friend come over that they don't know, make sure that you introduce them to your friend and let your friend pet them, let your friend give them a treat, maybe even leave the room and leave your dog with that friend for a few minutes. And if they don't follow you or react negatively in any way, then you give them a treat and let them know what a good dog they are. And that repetitive training like that will get them used to other people. We have a Bible study in our home, and it's usually between 6 and 10 people. And I would let Kyiah come out amongst the people, and as she would walk up to one of the members of the group, they would give her a treat. And I had her do that with each and every member. I only did that one time. That one exercise helped her understand that strangers are nice. They can be very friendly, and they don't have to be a source of anxiety. And the last thing that I want to share with you in this video is something I call blissful and busy. And that's when you give your dog props to help them be content and happy while you're gone. For instance, I got Kyiah used to staying in our laundry room on her pillow, where she has access to go out into a potty house to potty in the garage. And I would also fill a Kong like these, any of these. Oh, you think something's in there? Yes, usually it is, huh? But not today. I'll get you something later for helping Mommy with the video, okay? Yes, you can have something later. You like the smell of that, don't you? Anyway, a Kong like this, which they can roll around in the room and play with. Same with this. This one kind of tumbles around. And I'll put any kind of kibble that she likes mixed with peanut butter, and it keeps her busy for a good long time. You're still looking for that treat, aren't you? You're so cute. Take treats and hide them in the room she's going to be in. Hide them well enough that it takes longer than 5 minutes to find them all. I'll put them under her pillow. I'll put one on top of the pillow so she knows to start that there are treats hidden, and she knows when she finds that one, there's more. I also started playing classical music lightly when I was gone. I play it through my TV on Pandora, and she can hear it, and that helps calm her down and also helps her from hearing outside noises that might get her to start barking. Muzzle mats are good if your dog is food motivated. Now that she doesn't always have to be in the laundry room because she's gotten older and she doesn't tend to be destructive when we're gone, I'll let her have the run of the downstairs. I'll also put on doggy TV on YouTube because that has other dogs running around and playing, and birds and squirrels, and it captures her attention. She doesn't just sit and watch it like a kid would, but she does enjoy it. Sometimes people walk down paths with the camera, and it's as though the dog is walking down that path. It kind of gets them interested, especially if they're seeing other dogs on it. If you try all of these methods, it will not be long until you're saying adios to anxiety with your dog. They'll get better, and they'll be happier, and so will you. I want you to do something for me. I'm just taking kind of an informal poll. If you have a dog that has anxiety or have had a dog that has anxiety, please just say yes in the comment below. I just want to know what that percentage is of the people that are watching, and that'll help me decide if I should do more of these videos. So if you found value in this video, I want to encourage you to answer the question in the comments, and also to click that thumbs up like button and to subscribe to this channel for more videos for ShiChi lovers and dog lovers in general. Thanks for watching.